Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the installment of Scott Selections here for Friday, March 19th. Before getting today's play of the day, quick recap of what happened yesterday. We ended up picking up a very tough loss with Drake -1.5 at -110 on BetMGM. We got a great number. Line closed at -2.5. Pretty crazy game. Drake was down double digits for most of the game. Ended up taking a lead, was up 4 with the ball with 13 seconds left and had a 4-on-1. And yet instead of getting either a free layup or getting fouled, which would have ended the game, they turned it over. Wichita hit a 3, then Drake got fouled, missed the front end of the 1-and-1, and ended up only winning by 1. Pretty brutal beat there. I know Drake was fortunate to get back into the game in the first place, but if you're up 4 with the ball with 13 seconds left and you don't cover 1.5, that's pretty brutal. But either way, ended up picking up a loss. Happens. A lot of crazy action in the first 4 games yesterday, but look for a bounce back winner here on college basketball on Friday. And for the play of the day, we're going to be looking at a matchup taking place at 4 p.m. Eastern time. It's going to be on a matchup between Georgia Tech and Loyola-Chicago. And for this play of the day, we're going to be taking Loyola-Chicago first half, -2.5 at -114 on FanDuel. A time recording of 2:48 a.m. Eastern time. Now, first of all, this is a pretty solid deal considering the fact that you can currently find -3 available in most books, including DraftKings, but FanDuel does have -2.5 for just 5 extra cents of juice. So for that reason, I will take that and I'll easily sacrifice the 5 cents of juice for the extra half point. Now, looking at the actual line for this game, this line has completely exploded in favor of Loyola-Chicago. It has gone from -2.5 to -5.5. Totals also dropped as well, but Loyola-Chicago has been taking a ton of money. And it's mostly because of injury news or COVID news involving Georgia Tech, as Georgia Tech's best player, Moses Wright, star center, who's averaging 17.4 points per game and 8 rebounds per game, is officially out because of COVID. Now, Georgia Tech is not a deep team at all. It typically has a rotation of about 7 guys, doesn't really have any backup big men who are any good. And with Wright out of the lineup, that's going to be a huge blow to Georgia Tech, especially since he has played in every game this season. Now, Georgia Tech basically has to reinvent this entire offense because it usually uses an inside-out type of offense with a pick-and-roll system with Alvarado and Wright. Now that's no longer available, so I do expect Georgia Tech to look extremely sloppy offensively in the first half, especially of this game, before potentially figuring out what to do in the second half. But Loyola-Chicago is also amazing defensively, ranks 3rd in defense efficiency. Georgia Tech ranks 51st. However, that is with, of course, Wright in the lineup, so I do think the defense will look a lot worse since Wright is also their leading shot blocker. Now, the other area that Loyola should dominate in is the rebounding department. Loyola-Chicago ranks 30th in rebounding rate. Georgia Tech ranks 286th. So even with Wright on the team, Georgia Tech is a terrible rebounding team, and Loyola-Chicago is fantastic. And now with Wright out, I do think Loyola-Chicago should dominate on the boards. I expect a lot of one-and-dones going on for Georgia Tech, a lot of perimeter jump shots, and really just no rebounds whatsoever, which should set up a pretty good opportunity for Loyola to open up a pretty big lead in the first half. And also, Loyola-Chicago is a pretty good offensive team, besides playing very slowly. This team ranks 49th in offense efficiency, so this team should be able to do pretty well against a Georgia Tech team that is A, shorthanded, and B, should be a little bit out of sorts, both offensively and defensively, without its best player in the lineup. Now, looking at some other matchups here, the main weapon that Loyola-Chicago has is its star center, Cameron Krutwig, who's averaging 15.0 points per game and 6.7 rebounds per game. Now, Georgia Tech doesn't really have anybody to match up with him. You can bring in one of the scrub big men who you have, but he barely plays, and now you have to play him serious minutes. Or Georgia Tech can go small, try to go with I don't want to say a 5-out system, but they can try something like that, but Krutwig will absolutely kill them on the inside and on the board. So I just don't see that happening. I think Georgia Tech will be forced to use one of its backup big men who aren't really that good because they don't play many minutes. And I simply just think Krutwig should feast on the inside, while Georgia Tech should be playing mostly with 4 players and a scrub because they have no choice but to replace Wright for this matchup. Plus, if you want to actually look at Loyola-Chicago, this team defensively, I already mentioned how great this team is, but defensively in the first half, this team is actually remarkable. If you look at the numbers so far this season, Loyola-Chicago ranks number 1. They allow the fewest first half points per game, giving up 25.4 points per game in the first half. So I do think Georgia Tech should struggle against this elite defense. Maybe it picks something up. Maybe it hits a decent amount of jump shots, and this ends up turning into a loser. But the issue you have here is that Georgia Tech has played with a really just one identity all season long, which helped propel it to an ACC title. Now the main source of its identity is gone, and I think Georgia Tech will have a ton of growing pains trying to figure out which rotations to use, trying to figure out what sets to run. Really just a lot of confusion going on for the Yellow Jackets, and I do think Loyola should control the game as a result. This first half might be close, but Georgia Tech's offense should look really, really underwhelming, and defensively I think it will also struggle because Wright is the main defensive anchor of this team. So for that reason, the play of the day, once again, here for Friday, March 19th, is going to be on Loyola-Chicago. First half, -2.5 at -114 on FanDuel. That's been Solomon Scott Selection. Go to all of you in your respective best today. Bye, everyone.